What's up, my fellow horror hounds, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host as always, Jay Schatzer. And today, well, I have the fabulous sequel to John Carpenter's Halloween. It is Rick Rosenthal's 1981 classic. It's Halloween Part 2. Guys, this one is just a great follow-up to the first one. It really captures the magic and splendor of the first film. So let's just dive in to this great sequel. Here is Halloween Part 2. Halloween 2 is an exceptionally faithful sequel to the John Carpenter directed classic, as it brings back all of the sights and sounds of Halloween that us horror lovers can't get enough of. Awash in an endless rush of seasonal tropes, the production is a haunting continuation of Michael Myers' madness that excites in great abundance. If you wanted Michael's bloody reunion in Haddonfield to continue, then you, my friend, are in luck. Get ready for an atmospheric trip down some frighteningly familiar territory. The story of Halloween 2 starts off mere seconds after the events of the first film. As Laurie Strode is taken to the hospital to be treated for the trauma she endured in the first movie, Dr. Loomis and Sheriff Brackett search the neighborhood for the death-defying Michael Myers. After being shot 6 times, miraculously Myers escapes the crime scene, aiming to finish the job and track down Laurie by any means necessary. Can anything stop this silent killer? Or is the entire population of Haddonfield doomed to die one by one? In unsurprising fashion, the main core of the cast reprised their roles, with Donald Pleasance playing Dr. Loomis, Charles Cyphers playing Sheriff Brackett, and of course Jamie Lee Curtis playing Laurie Strode. In the sense of Curtis's screen time, she doesn't really factor into the equation until the later half of the film, but when she does, it's a tension-filled game of cat and mouse, played within the confines of a maze-like series of hospital hallways and endless corridors. Her timid portrayal in the first film is nothing compared to her traumatized depiction of the now battered and beaten Laurie Strode. Weary from a night full of surviving the constant attacks from her estranged brother, the Laurie in this film is that of a drugged lunatic, fighting on instinct. The weight of the night's battles is quite evident, and Curtis does a tremendous job in making the viewer feel her pain. On the other side of the coin, both Pleasance and Cyphers do a great job in continuing their already established characters' motives, with Cyphers bowing out earlier than Pleasance, but not without leaving a few lasting impressions. Pleasance's Dr. Loomis has a great deal more to do in this film, yet his actions mirror his movements from the first film by having him follow in the footsteps of the famed killer. The detective work that leads him to the hospital and the obstacles that he must overcome in order to make it there in time to save Laurie is entertaining to see play out, and Pleasance sells every instance with foreboding charm and unabashed seriousness. All in all, the cast is stupendous, including the fresh meat that Michael Myers gets to slice into and choke the life out of. The film is just a perfect continuation of an already perfect horror film. What quickly becomes apparent as the film kicks into gear is that it seems like the violence and graphic nature of the film is also cranked up a bit compared to its predecessor. Usually that's the case when a film as classic as Halloween is assigned a sequel. In general, the director and producers feel the need to outdo the previous iteration, but luckily the bar was only raised slightly as not to eclipse itself too far from the world that John Carpenter created in the first film. We get a subtle addition of bloody kills and nudity, but nothing so shocking to make us think we've stumbled into a gore-encrusted Friday the 13th entry. By slasher standards, Halloween has always been a series that's lent its success more to the atmosphere that it creates, rather than the amount of blood splattered across the screen. Halloween 2, catering to this tradition, keeps the bloodletting to a moderate amount, while flirting with that concept of the more gore, the merrier. Halloween 2 is a sequel that matches the intense atmosphere of the original, while upping the ante in a number of areas. The kills are a little bit bloodier, and the nudity is a little bit, well, nudier. But the director and crew never forget that blood, gore, and nudity were never an emphasized thing in the first Halloween. It was the atmosphere of the holiday of Halloween and the silent moments of Michael Myers stalking his prey that really made an impression on the audience, myself included. In this entry, they've kept the things that work and made a comprehensive continuation of the first film that seamlessly begins where the first film leaves off. If you love the original Halloween, then it's highly likely that you'll dig this one. Halloween 2 is without a doubt one hell of a sequel to a classic slasher film of outrageous proportions. And there you have it, movie creepers. That is the great sequel to John Carpenter's Halloween. It's just a perfect continuation of the story, and one that doesn't veer too far from the original. And for that, I love it. But guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed that one, and I hope you like what I'm doing here. If you do, please like and subscribe. And if you have time, leave a comment below because I'd love to hear from you. But until then, I will see you at the next movie review. Take care.